Hi, this is Lucy Holmes from Lubilu Natural Life, the channel that helps you find products that are sustainable and more environmentally friendly, but still fit in with your busy lives. Hi, this is Lucy. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself today and what you can expect from this channel. So I'm in my mid-40s and I've been living in Germany now for 15 years. I'm married, I've got 2 daughters, and I've been interested in the environment for a few years. So since my early 20s, I got interested in skincare and what chemicals were in there that were actually harmful to my skin and to the environment. And so I started looking at those. And then when I moved to Germany, I became more interested in the environment because it was clear that there was a lot more going on in Germany. So here they've recycled for years and years and years. So we have all the food waste goes into the compost. The compost is then processed for 6 weeks, and we can then buy that back as compost for our garden. The paper gets recycled, the plastic gets recycled. We have what's called the FANT system, so that's the deposit system that we used to have in the UK many years ago. So when you have plastic bottles or glass bottles, for example, you have 15 cents or 25 cents on top of what you pay, and you then get that money back when you recycle the bottles. So things like that were making me interested in the differences between the UK, which is where I came from, and Germany, where I was now living. Also in Germany, for example, until very recently, you could only buy seasonal vegetables and fruit, which actually used to drive me mad. But now I really realise how important that is for the environment, that we're not flying in fruit and veg from all over the world just for our convenience. So over the last 5 years in particular, I've been basically looking at the products that I'm using in our family life. So from cleaning products, skincare products, food, the whole range really, to look at where we could make small changes. I was still working in an office job at that point, and I still had 2 young children. I still, had to cook dinner every single night, but I wanted to make changes bit by bit, because if you try and change everything all at once, it's absolutely overwhelming and you will not, I suspect, manage it. So for me, it was important to just make small changes piece by piece that I could manage, that I could fit into my busy life. And so whenever I looked at something that I wanted to change, so it might even just be a kitchen cloth, then I would look at the chemicals that are in the product that are doing us harm. So is there anything in that product that is going to do harm to the environment or to us? I would look at the waste, so reducing the waste that was used maybe to package up that product. So if it was cheese, so wrapped twice, or it's all got the individual plastic inside of it, dividing up the slices, and then it's wrapped into a plastic container. So how do I reduce that? How do I reduce the landfill as well? So better for the water system. So for example, every fleece that you buy is actually made out of, well, most fleeces that you buy are made out of plastic fibres. And these, every time you wash them, get flushed into the water and the water ecosystem. And this is why we have millions, billions of microfibres in the oceans today, which then get ingested by the smaller fish and work their way up the food chain. So we're actually eating the plastic again. Also, which chemicals are going into the water system. So the washing liquid I'm using, the clothes wash that I'm using, the chemicals that might be on the clothes, all these sorts of things. I've been looking at what was going into the water system. The supply chain, who made my product? Was it a child labourer in, I don't know, wherever, or was it actually a part of a community that's under the fair trade regulations? That means the community are being looked after, education is being taken care of in those communities, all those sorts of things. So if it wasn't made locally under local employment laws, I wanted to know who is making it. How carbon intensive are the products? So what carbon is used to produce that product? how far is it flying? You know, how far is it travelling to get to me? Is it being made in Germany or Europe or the UK? Or is it being made in China or India? Is it, how intensive are the carbon, how much carbon is actually being produced in those products? For example, eating vegetarian, eating vegan produces less carbon than eating meat. So, okay, we want to carry on eating meat, we're trying to reduce eating meat, but how can I really reduce the level of carbon as a result of that? So how are we treating the animals? As I said, we like meat. We want to carry on eating meat. We are definitely reducing our consumption of meat. But how are the animals actually being treated? I've seen way too many videos recently, and I've found out way too much about how animals are being kept before we're eating them. And I've made massive changes over our meat consumption as a result, because I do not want to eat pigs, for example, that have been kept in very small places with no room to move. Cost. So a lot of the environmental changes actually cost quite a bit more. We recently renovated our house, so about 8 years ago, and the environmental cost of some of the things we wanted to do, so solar panels or using geothermic heating, was actually prohibitive. We couldn't afford it at the time, and so we had to make some compromises, but always looking at the cost. There are cheaper alternatives out there, but it might mean, for example, that you have to make your products. So my kitchen spray it's actually very, very easy, but it's a lot cheaper than buying even normal kitchen spray, kitchen cleaner that you would from the supermarket. And to research all those 7 points, I read a lot of articles, I look on the internet, I've subscribed to Greenpeace, I've subscribed to a few German charities, so NABU, which is protection of nature basically, Bund, which is massive charity responsible for environmental concerns, Campact, they do a lot of political campaigning, Avars, they're an international charity, they take care of, or they want to change a lot of things from humanitarian to environment. And so I read a lot of articles. I've got books. This is a fantastic book written by a guy in Greenpeace, all about how to get plastic. I was lucky to get that for Christmas one year. For my birthday, somebody bought me this, which is a brilliant book on how to do all the cleaning products differently. And then, I get sent magazines and all sorts. So I'm constantly reading about this, but it all takes huge amounts of time. And I'm lucky because 3 years ago, I had a bit of a midlife crisis and I quit my job as head of HR. And it gave me some breathing space to really think about what was important for me. And now I realise that it's really the environmental side of things that's important to me. But whilst realising that not everybody has the time that I do or I make to make some of these decisions. For example, I was looking for sun cream recently. It took me 6 hours to find a sun cream that had factor 50, that didn't have any nasty chemicals in them, as in chemicals that were harmful to me. It was ocean approved, so a lot of the sun creams nowadays cannot be used in the ocean because they're damaging the ecosystems. So it took me 6 hours to just find a sun cream that I wanted to buy. And most people do not have that time. So what I really want to do is to help you to find products that you can source, that you know where to get them, that you can trust that they're environmentally the right thing to do. So I will spend the time for you to go out and buy better environmental choice products. So what I will try to do is I will basically offer 3 options when I review something. So for example, like hand soap. Of course you can use a bar of soap. That's easy. It's low packaging. It's not really got any chemicals in it. It's not going to cause any harm. However, I use a lot of the liquid soap, and that's okay, but it comes in a lot of plastic packaging. There is actually chemicals in it that are not good for your skin, that are not good for the ecosystem, the water ecosystems. So I will try and offer you a simple, really low budget way of making your own hand soap, and I'm not going to show you how to make soap. I've had too many disasters with that, but I am going to show you how to make liquid hand soap. And I will then show you a middle cost hand soap that you can then just buy, so you don't have to make, but it's going to be low packaging, it's going to be good for the water systems, it's, you know, all those sorts of things. And then I will show you the luxury version. So actually in the last 3 years I started looking at skincare a lot, and I did a lot of research on this, and I actually chose the Neal's Yard products as my skincare range, and I'm now a Neal's Yard consultant. I have a small team and I have a number of customers, and basically this means for me I can afford Neal's Yard, and I would include Neal's Yard in the luxury area, but my choices would normally be in Neal's Yard because I have made a lot of decisions about how I want my skincare to be, how I want my kids' skincare to look like, and because I now work as a Neal's Yard consultant, it means that I can basically get my products for free. So that means I've saved in my skincare in one area. Fantastic. I will always try and give you options where you can save money, so that sometimes you might need to buy the more expensive environmental option, but you will have saved money in other areas. So that's basically what I'm about. In short, I want to help you choose products that are more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, but you can fit into your busy lives. That's it. That's simple. I hope you subscribe to my channel. I hope you press like if you like this. Please comment if you've got any areas that you want me to get into, if you want me to try and, if you've seen a product and you want me to test it, you want me to review it before you buy it, write it in a comment. That would be brilliant. That would really, really help me. So please, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your likes. Please subscribe, and I will keep trying to provide videos that you like and are helpful. Thank you.